Do not attempt to adjust your computer. There is nothing wrong. We have taken control as to bring you this special show. This is the Mothership flying through cyberspace. My name is Toby Maxwell, a.k.a. the King of Uranus. We're delighted you're here. To your right, to my left, the lovely and talented Carrie Turner is here. She is our, what would you call us, Minister of Information.
Our Millennial Falcon.
Millennial Falcon. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, but you're the one that helps us. We were farting around with the technology. We're still playing Pong games. So thank you for keeping us in cyberspace. Over here, to your left, to my right, Greg DeGuire, Uber Geek, and I mean that with the utmost respect.
And I'm still trying to figure out how to program my VCR.
Is it flashing 12?
Hey, it's right 2 times a day.
Broken clock is right twice a day. This is Al, our Cosmic Pal, gargling in the cosmic green juice. Today, I would like to start the broadcast off with the sleep and dreams. Now, this is a third of everyone's life, and it's a different universe, and it's a different reality. I think there's a lot more to it than people let on to. I've always been told, and the things that I've read, that if there's going to be a ghost, an otherworldly appearance of a dead relative, of someone that has passed, it happens in sleep and dreams. Have you ever had anything experiences like that? Mm-hmm. You both have?
Mm-hmm. I've seen past relatives in my dreams.
Yeah.
I have reoccurring dreams of my Grandpa DeGuire, my dad's dad. I see him all the time. His mouth is moving, but I can't hear what he's saying. I also have dreams of my past mom. She talks to me all the time, but it's nothing earth-shattering. There's no visions of the future. It's just normal life chit-chat. It's nothing I wouldn't think worthwhile, but I think it's interesting. Although the more curious dream, I remember a lot about my dreams. One of the more curious dreams I ever had was when my great-grandpa Harvey passed away. This is way back in 99, 2000. Anyways, I had a dream that my mom's grandpa, Grandpa Muchler and Grandpa Harvey, were sitting on a back porch in rocking chairs drinking lemonade, and they saw me walk by, and they both said in unison, "What are you doing? You're not supposed to... Weird to see you here. You're not supposed to be here yet." And then I woke up. So I thought that's the most bizarre dream I've had with seeing past people in my dreams.
Excellent.
I've never really had a dream like that after that, but that was a really odd dream I thought to have.
And you still remember it all these years later?
Oh, I remember it as clear as day, like it was yesterday.
What's your experience?
I don't have so many relatives that I see in my dreams. Most of my dreams, I can't talk, I can't run, I can't scream. I can't lucid dream. Is that what it's called? Where you can take control of your dreams and...
More or less.
Yeah, I can't do that. I've always tried. And there's always different ways. I've heard people,
when I was a kid, I had a big fear of King Kong. Laugh amongst yourselves, if you will. But the 80s movie with Jeff Bridges, that particular King Kong movie, affected me deeply. And every time I heard a thump or a boom, I knew that was King Kong coming to step on us all. And I dreamt about it constantly. I mean, he was a reoccurring character in my dreams that always scared me to no end, that I couldn't be comfortable. It's creepy. Except for one particular time, being as how this is a dream, mind you, I was in the house I was living at the time, and the upstairs, it used to be a duplex. So it was the upstairs kitchen is what we called it, where in my dream I had a fight with a miniature King Kong, and I threw him out the window, and then that conquered the fear of screaming and running. Ever since then, I've been able to run and do anything in my dream. I can control them implicitly. So you have to more or less, you have to, whatever it is that you can't want away from, run away from. You have to stop, turn, and face it. If you can do that, you can stop that. It'll end. Yeah. I mean, that's part of reality problems infused into your dreams. Because if your brain is like a computer, and some say it is, that dreams are more or less downloading information of the day's events. So
playing solitaire.
That is one of the dream theories, though. There are 4 of them, and maybe I should look it up on my phone. That was one of them. When you sleep during the night, you retain all the information you got from the day, etc.
So, but along with that comes your foibles. They filter into your subconscious, so you dream about these sorts of things too. Everyday problems you have, find a way to work itself into your dream pattern. So, if you can find a way to either conquer what you're running from in your reality, or if you can do it in a dream state, that can help turn that tide a little bit. Yeah. And I only say that because it worked for me. But everybody's dreams are different. Anybody can do things. Do you dream in color or in black and white?
Color.
3D.
Did you know most of society dreams in black and white?
Really?
It's true.
How do you know it's color?
There's like one dream I remember having. I was in a city for some reason, but I was like flying everywhere at the same time. But I just see it in my head now. I remember color from it. I was wearing like a really colorful dress.
That was going to be the next question. If you can fly in your dreams.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and sometimes I can fly really high to make it fun. Other times I'm flying 2 feet off the ground.
See, I can fly in my dreams, but also in all my dreams I'm terrified of heights. Somehow or another, I always find myself in a glass elevator attached to the Sears Tower, or the Willis Tower, whatever they call that tower in Chicago nowadays, being forced to look down and continuously rise in this elevator, and it terrifies me to no end.
So would you never go on the sky deck?
So clearly I have a fear of heights, but I've been on the sky deck before.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not totally afraid of heights. I think under certain circumstances I think I am. So that's one of my fears. I'm afraid of heights. And it shows in my dreams evidently. It knows right where to go.
On the Sears Tower, I still call it Sears. That's what I grew up saying. But when I was on the 103rd story,
something
is that
like
correct?
that.
Looking down, it just looked like a painting.
It didn't look
felt
real,
like
did
a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as we like to call it, the "What You Talking About" Willis Tower. Thank you, different strokes.
Thank you, different strokes.
So what about your dream?
The reason I wanted to bring it up is I had a dream. I was probably late teens, early 20s. And for some, it's one of those that you remember years later. And there's a few dreams that if you had those, it's just like you can remember it years later.
Yeah.
Every little detail about it, it's tattooed on your brain. And this one was, I was not a comedian at the time, and I was driving in a car. I don't know who was driving, and I looked out and I saw a skyline of a strange city that I don't remember being in before. And I said, "Where are we?" And the driver of the car, and I don't know who it was, said, "We're in Pittsburgh. You're here to do stand-up comedy." That's weird. But again, it's not one of those just dreams that you remember. I remember it all these years later. And the first road gig I ever did was Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm not making that up. And I was in the car coming over there, and that was the same scene from years before. And it's like, that is the same thing.
Deja vu.
Vujade. It hadn't happened yet. And that was just the weirdest thing. I've talked to people about this, and then people say, yeah, there are premonition-type dreams, and I don't know how to control them or how to...
You can't. Premonition dreams you can't control. They'll just pop in there. I have those from time to time where I'd swear I've been through this before, or the situation it's way too familiar. I know I've been to this place before. But that is a very common occurrence.
And I heard in dreams, so if you said you didn't recognize the guy who was driving you.
No, I just asked him, and it was a he.
Okay.
Was talking to me, but I don't remember a face. It wasn't a friend. It was just a person.
Isn't it true that you can't construct your own faces in a dream? It's from a face you've seen in your life before.
On that note, try to look at yourself in a mirror in a dream. You want to talk about terrifying? I've seen my own vision, myself, my reflection in mirrors in dreams. Freaky occurrence. Extraordinarily freaky. Like my expression is always worried, or I'm frightened beyond belief for some reason. Now, some would say it's because no one really likes to see their own mirror image. It's a subconscious type of thing. Or maybe it's just one of those oddities that happens in dreams that you're not supposed to see. I don't know. What about sleep paralysis?
I don't think I've ever had it.
I've had it.
But
I
you
get
sleep on your back usually when that happens, right?
Yeah, I get it often, and I hate it every time.
I'm usually behind the wheel on the freeway. And the horn wakes me up.
Ghost appear in front of you.
I've had some really nasty dreams. Now, sleep paralysis happens if you fall asleep sometimes in a funny position, your neck is in an odd spot. You find yourself not in a weird, limbo where you want to wake up but you can't move. It's like your whole body is asleep. Like how your arms and legs tingle, but imagine that happens to your entire body and you can't move and you can't scream for help and you're trying to roll off the couch and you can't. It's just a sucky feeling. Now, sometimes there are those that say that of those who have experienced alien abduction, all suffer, at least a fair percentage of them suffer from sleep paralysis. So they're trying to build a correlation that sleep paralysis is just their envision of something bad happening to them or they can't control, and they think it's alien abduction, and it turns out it's just sleep paralysis.
What about the big green alien fingerprints in places that the doctor doesn't look at? Interesting.
Yeah, sometimes there's just sometimes things just happen. Maybe there's not supposed to be explanations for everything. I don't know.
Now, do you have reoccurring dreams?
I have reoccurring themes, but not a reoccurring dream.
Oh, I got a lot.
I think, that's...
My reoccurring themes are seeing tornadoes and being afraid, floods of all shapes and sizes, notwithstanding, as we're taping, we just had, in last week at this time, we had 72 hours of straight rain, so some places got up to 7 inches of rain, of which, on a quick tangent, every 1 inch of rain is equal to 10 inches of snow.
Wow.
Food for thought. Anywho, so yeah, recurring themes are tornadoes, flooding, and actually alien attacks. Because I'm constantly looking up at the stars, so now I dream of seeing weird ships and we're getting invaded. In fact, I just had a very vivid dream of alien invasion, and I was stuck in my old high school. That dream was as vivid as this is happening.
Those are
right
the scary
now.
ones. They'll just, I mean, we're getting a cold spat. It's like, wow, that's what I'm thinking. Is it just made up? It seems so real. And it's a third of our life we're spent in that state.
The wacky part about that dream is I had just fallen asleep. And I had that dream that seemed to go on in real time. Like, it felt like I was living within every moment, and a day had gone by in the dream. And when I woke up, because the dream woke me up, only an hour had gone by. Like, you have got to be kidding me. How in the world does that happen? I mean, you want to talk about the theory of special relativity. The theory of relativity is as follows. The passage of time is relevant to what's happening in the moment. That's why they say a watch pot never boils, because you're staring at it, time appears to move faster. LL Cool J stated the passage of time thusly: you put your hand in a hot plate, and a second feels like a minute. Put your hand in a hot woman, and a minute goes by in a second. So the passage of time is relative to the moment.
I don't think LL Cool J was the first one to say that.
Maybe not, but it was cool the way he said it.
He used it, he used it to his advantage.
Now, Einstein was right, because satellites that are in orbit, the faster you go, the quicker time goes. So the satellites that are in orbit, they're set to be set 10 minutes slower, so the satellite time links up to our cell phones. When in actuality, the satellite's 10 minutes faster, because it's traveling that much faster. So the faster you go, the faster time goes. So that's what they call the theory of special relativity. So you have to adjust that to keep up with how fast it's going, as opposed to how slow we're rotating on Earth. So why is that different in your brain? Why did it felt like 24 hours had passed in my brain? Sure felt like it, and I woke up and only an hour had gone by. Please, please. I don't know. That brain's stupid. I don't know. There's sometimes no rhyme or reason to dreams. Sometimes they're just entertainment for your brain. A teacher once called a mental bubble gum. Something for your brain to chew on while you're asleep. It's entertainment. So my brain's going to watch TV while the rest of my body is checked out. And that's what my brain wanted to watch that.
Boy, that seems pretty useless.
Of course it does.
I don't.
But what if that's what dreams really are?
I guess, but you can only enjoy them yourself. You ever try to tell somebody the dream that you had? And
it never works out.
No.
Well, I was flying through, and a pickle came out of the wall, and
And then a random person comes in with no context and be like...
And the pickle said, "Dude, it's no big deal."
This concludes. I have seriously recurring dreams all the time, and there are several ones, and I've had them since childhood. And I don't know what they mean, or maybe I'm just too thick-headed.
Dish, let's have a go at it. You want to throw one down? Let's go.
Down there. I am playing basketball in the NBA.
Okay.
Literally, it's the NBA, and I'm on the court, and it's vivid. I can feel the hardwood court. I can feel the ball in my hands. I can hear thousands of people cheering and yelling. I know where I am on the court. I know how to pass and shoot and hit, and it's the most wonderful feeling in the world, and I don't want to wake up. It's just absolutely awesome. And I've had some where I was playing in the NFL, a couple of those too, and it was in the NFL. I don't know, it wasn't just football, it was pro football on TV.
If I may.
You may.
I've had the exact same dream where I'm playing football or baseball, I think was my dream. And I just walked to the field like I had the day off. Like my dream gave me the day off. I didn't even have to play. I was just sitting in the dugout, and I walked out on the field and the fans went wild. If I may, I'm going to suggest that is real life intrusion into your dreams, because you've been on stage before, people have applauded. I've been on stage before, people have applauded. I think that is part of your subconscious retelling that in another way.
I agree with that. I was just
it's just my thought.
It totally could be, but it seems so real.
Yeah. The more realistic dreams, I wake up and I don't always feel refreshed, like I need a nap after that dream. Like, man, I got to sit and think about what happened for a while. Now I have to work really early in the morning, so my alarm sometimes goes off at 2:45 in the a.m. and I'm not done analyzing my dream sometimes. So on the drive to work, I'm trying to think about the dream that I just had and what the hell was that?
It doesn't come to you for like another 20 minutes or so.
Now, also, there are those who say, well, I don't remember any of my dreams. And a lot of you don't. But you still dream, whether you want to or not. As long as you have rapid eye movement, they call it deep REM sleep, you're dreaming. But you don't always remember it. I think I'd be less of a person if I couldn't remember my dreams.
I think it's got to have a purpose. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
like
maybe.
I said, sort out the information, the people that we see during the day.
Well, and also, we are only using a small percentage of our brains. There's so much to our brain that we don't even know about. So it could have a deeper meaning that we just completely unaware of. I mean, as far as dreams go, who's doing dream studies right now that you hear in the news? Scientists at Caltech have discovered some brainwave pattern that helps people dream, or they stick a probe in your hypothalamus that you can dream differently. I haven't heard any story like that. Doesn't mean it's not going on, but it can't be that popular.
4 dream theories, and I have to remember we stated the first 2, the computer-like one and the one in your subconscious. You kind of want to be true at the same time, like you want to assert it in your real life.
Wasn't I know who is the now the name escaped, Freud. Had a lot to do with dreams, but so wasn't it Jung? Jung had a lot of theories about dreams, and I've never read any one of Jung's books, but they both had a lot of dream theories. Now, I think that Freud had a lot of sexual undertones to his dreaming abilities, but I'm not sure that's what that all means either. I don't know. I look forward to dreaming. I can't wait to go to sleep every night. I can't wait I want to dream. I don't, because you don't know what's going to happen. Maybe something cool, maybe something not. I have reoccurring dreams at my old jobs all the time. And one of my old jobs, I dreamt that the entire place had been sunken into some kind of level of hell, and Satan himself was inside the building, and we had to avoid Satan. Was the gist of the dream.
Was it a landlord?
No, it was
corporate.
It was the dude.
Manager.
Blood was squirting out of the air vents. It was a real messed up. Yeah, it was a messed up dream, and it happened. I used to work for Jockey. Not that Jockey is run by the devil. Please don't take that. I'm saying is this was a dream that's where he was at the time, and we had to avoid him at all costs.
Was it asbestos underwear you were wearing?
Maybe. I kept the dream brief. Anyway.
As best as you could.
Oh, there you go. Clever girl.
Jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle of the
all right. All right. That was a good one.
A couple of bubbles came out.
Yeah.
He's rolling his eyes in there.
He's totally doing that. Yeah. How about the part about cross-pollinating with the other world, the other? I've had that situation. My grandfather was my closest father figure.
Ooh, yeah.
And he passed away when I was just graduated high school in June. He passed away in December. I was 18, and I spent more time without him in my life than I've had with him. And 3 or 4 times in my life, I've had a very vivid dream where he is in pain. He's old and shriveled and decrepit. I've always heard that if you see people in the other world, that they are spry and they're at their youngest, spryest stage. You know, and if they've done good on the other side and they're happy, they look perky.
Now, when I saw my 2 grandparents in that particular dream, they were both elderly, like I remembered them, but they were happy. They weren't hindered by their age. That's just how they looked. And they were both sipping lemonade. I'm gonna call that a good day. Didn't look like they were in that kind of weirdness pain. But the one thing, my other grandpa DeGuire, he's always trying to tell me something.
What is he trying to tell you?
Don't know. He's always pointing to something. Sometimes he's pointing to a window. Sometimes he's pointing to an object of which I can never remember or identify what the object is. But his mouth is always moving, and I can't hear a word.
Stop staying inside all day. Get out.
I never liked you.
Yeah, maybe. But now dreams could also be interdimensional.
Yeah.
There's always mirror dimensions, so they say. If you believe in string theory, there's multiple dimensions happening all around us at the same moment in time. So here's the thing. So if you get two windshield wipers, sometimes they're out of whack. But every once in a while, they're in complete synchronicity with each other. What if our universe is the same way? If they're sometimes going like this, but then there's all of a sudden they tweak into the same thing, and that is the doorway that opens for a brief moment in time that you can see into that dimension before it goes off in different directions again. What if that's what happens sometimes in our dreams?
I think that's a total possibility.
Patent pending, trademark.
No, I don't know what to think. Now, what I wanted to go into, my father and I had a specifically, an especially poor relationship. There's not one picture of us together ever at any point in our lives. You know, we're complete polar opposites. We had a couple of face-to-faces, and it just went nowhere. So several years after he died, I was at a poker table. I'm not even a poker player. I was having a wonderful time. There was some friends there, and we're laughing, and there was this guy to my right, and he was funny, and we were having a good time, and we're like, showing each other's hands and stuff like that. I remember it like it was yesterday. And all of a sudden, he looked at me, and I saw my father wore glasses, and it was like a horn-rimmed Drew Carey type glasses I've seen in older pictures before I was born. And he had those horn-rimmed glasses on, and it morphed into my father. He said, "I bet you wouldn't have such a good time if you knew it was me, would you?"
Ouch.
And I was stunned, and he got up and walked away. And I woke up, and I'm telling you about this years later. And we're laughing and having a good time. I bet you wouldn't. And it's like, I don't know what that was supposed to mean, but we sure didn't get along on this cosmic plane for whatever reason. And it was very freaky. And it was one of those things. It wasn't like Father's Day, or you just talk to somebody in the family, and it's just completely out of the blue. I don't know why I was on that particular night. I don't remember where I was. Was I home on the road doing a comedy show? I don't remember that. I just thought that was especially weird. And these dreams that happen. Now, one more I'll share with you. Bless you.
Thank you.
He's going to dream about sneezing later tonight, folks.
There you go. All right.
Spoiler alert.
3D. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes a few years ago, and it was very overwhelming to hear that. It's not as bad as we think it is, but when you first hear that thing, it's like, wah, 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 diabetes. Wow. You think, oh my God, it's over. And I was really upset about it. And the comedy club, Zanies in Chicago, the guy that owned that was more of a father figure than my father was. And he had passed away literally probably a month before that. And he wasn't even cool yet, pretty much. He was still pretty warm. And I was dreaming about that his diabetes, and there was a bunch of people around, and the people spread, and it was him. His name is Rick from Zanies. And he comes over to me, he goes, "What do you want?" I said, "Rick, I got diagnosed with diabetes." He goes, "All the crap that you've been through in your life, and you're going to let this get you down? You got me here to tell me this? You'll handle it. You'll be fine." And he turned around and walked away. It was his essence. It was his voice. It was his spirit. I will go to my grave saying, that was Rick. I haven't heard from him before or since.
That's amazing.
We were very close. And I'm not making it up for a fact. I'm just saying that's what happened. Maybe I have to stop eating pickles before I go to bed, or some certain cosmic dietary combination. I don't know what it is, but
Twinkie ice cream.
Twinkie ice cream, exactly. Whole wheat ding dongs. I don't know what it is, but something with that in my head. And then just a few, half a dozen instances, but I don't know how anybody else says. When I have them, they're very, very
vivid.
Yeah. You said yours are vivid too.
Yeah, I have very, very vivid dreams, and like I said, I can't recall them all the time. I mean, I always remember them when I wake up, and I always think about it. But every now and again, you get those dreams that you can remember, not necessarily the entire dream, but bits about the dreams. And then when I'm in these situations in reality, I'm like, wow, I can almost draw my own conclusion to the deja vu. Like, I remember I had this dream that I was talking to this person in this particular way, and there it's happening, just like that.
You guys made me remember some of my dreams I kind of forgot I had. Because
Right.
you guys were asking about recurring dreams. And I always had dreams about, like, I don't know, monsters, I guess? Or, like, just things chasing me in general.
Sure.
Always had that. But one of the ones I remember there was, like, out of the constellations in the stars, there was a monster or something unknown. So for the longest time, I was afraid of, like, looking up at the night sky. And I don't know. I just remembered that too.
That'll happen. It gets into your psyche and it changes your behavior. The movie Dreamscape from 86, 87 is one of the first PG-13 movies where a guy attempted to enter people's dreams to help them analyze what they're dreaming about. And the character who played the president had a reoccurring dream of nuclear war. So he was about to sign a peace treaty like no other had been signed before because he was heavily influenced by his dreams. So they made a movie about that sort of thing. Actually, a pretty cool movie. So it happens. Your dreams can heavily influence. I mean, imagine the leaders of the world, what they must dream of. If they go through more during the day, if your brain is always active, I would imagine that sometimes bits of your brain never stop firing, so your dreams are really
What if they push the button in their dream?
Well, what if they dream about pushing the button? Or how do we know that famous leaders of the world weren't affected by their dreams and changed the course of history because of a bad dream they had the night before? I don't remember them ever talking about stuff like that in history class, but I'm sure it's had to have happened. Didn't Lincoln have premonitions about himself being assassinated? I'm pretty sure he did.
I think he dreamed of pennies with his face on it.
Right. But I mean, it happens.
It does happen. That's why I want to dig deeper into that, and I wonder, get to the end of it, because sometimes you'll have, I don't know how you are, but stuff that's just a dark overtone. It's just, I can't put my finger on it.
We need to do an experiment between the three of us at some point in time. We need to keep dream logs for like a week. So keep a notebook by wherever you sleep, and when you wake up in the morning or in the middle of the night, quick jot down the gist of the last dream that you had, and we'll compare notes to see how many similar themes, even though we meet here, but we lead different lives.
Yeah.
But what if the situations we face are similar situations, be it in different scenarios, but yet lead to the same types of dreams?
Do different sleep positions affect dreams too?
Well, yeah, it depends on your comfort of sleep. You know that most people will resort to the embryonic position. So whatever position they were in the embryo, that's usually how they sleep at night, because you spent 9 months that way. Your body just goes back to it. So if you prefer sleeping on one side, but you wake up on the other side, that means in the embryo, in the pregnancy, you were on that side.
I sleep on my right side all the time.
Then that's the side you were on when you were in the womb. Neat stuff we learned on the show.
Are you guys side sleepers? Or?
I flip-flop around sometimes because I need a new bed, number one. And I fight temperature. I get hot and cold during the night. And he's crawling around here, my monkey cat, Django. He affects my sleep a lot. So that'll happen.
That's a weird cosmic occurrence. My sleep number, my credit score, and my bowling average are all the same number. I don't know how that works.
I'm going to call that a cosmic coinky-dinky.
Yeah.
Well, very well.
I think we're done with this episode.
That was good.
We screeched to a halt. Carrie, tell them how they can get a hold of us if they should wish.
Yeah, we have the Facebook Mothership Connection page. Very simple. The Gregory DeGuire Facebook page with all our fan friends on there. And then tinfoiltalkshow@gmail.com.
Coming soon to a place near you from the Cosmic Compound. This place so secret. If we told you where it was, we'd have to kill you. And we don't want to do that because we have many more episodes coming. Thanks for watching. We are the Mothership Connection. Fly on.